Hi, this is David with Paint Protection in Charlotte, and in front of me I have Toyota's new GR86. In today's video we're going to discuss the expectations that we sell our customers in regards to paint protection film. This hood was previously installed by another shop. We see this quite regularly where the customer doesn't always know what he's getting. What is the standard install? There's no such thing as a standard install when it comes to paint protection film, so each shop has their standard or whatever that may be. The edges haven't been wrapped on this hood. Shops do that for many reasons. One, because it's a quick install and they don't want to mess around with having to wrap the edges over. So on this hood there's about a little less than 1/4 of an inch gap all the way around the hood. A couple of things why we don't do that, and we'll discuss later in the video our approach, but you've got exposed paint all the way around the outside, and especially on the front, this exposed edge right here potentially can get chipped. Secondly, on a white colored car, we try and wrap every edge where possible, because regardless of how well you clean this car, it's going to get a dirt line built up around here. So what we're going to do is we're going to safely remove this and then reinstall it with the Suntek Ultra PPF. We're going to go into detail of our standard approach to installing PPF and how we go about it, and you'll see for yourselves us installing the film on this car and a good overview. So we have the film removed off the hood. Nathan's just doing a final wipe down, making sure there's no adhesive residue on the hood. It's been clayed again. All the edges have been alcohol wiped down. Make sure there's no contamination. We've already got our film cut to go on here. So what we're going to do next, we're going to spray our lubrication on there. And what happens is we extend the piece of film about 3 or 4 inches past every single edge. That gives us room to work with the film. And then also, once we've laid the squeegee all down, we can tuck every single edge. And the goal is to have the film cover all the edges. So once complete, it looks near invisible. We just finished laying down the Suntek Ultra 60-inch film on this hood. Everything is all down. I've had a quick look over it, see if there's any contamination under the film. So the next step is to just do a final trim around the outside. We'll flush that out with some alcohol. We'll heat all the edges. So we've got this hood now complete. All the edges are wrapped, sealed. I've had a look over it, everything looks really good. If you compare what we had in there initially compared to what now is on here, is night and day. And there's a couple of reasons why shops don't always wrap the edges. One, it takes probably twice as long to install a hood, where you have to wait for the edges to dry, wrap them over, make sure you've sealed them correctly. Two, not everyone is trained or doesn't have the experience to know how to properly seal the edges. So what we did to have happen is, over time, some of those edges could come up, and then you need to either trim it or reinstall it. And then thirdly, you need to have experience being able to trim neatly and not cut the paint when you are going around the edges. Regardless if you have a Ferrari, Lamborghini, a Toyota, a Ford, a Tesla, this is our standard. We don't change it depending on how valuable the car is. So when anyone comes to us, they get our best quality work. So it's real vital for when you're searching for a film install that you ask the right questions about the type of install they do. Do they wrap the edges? How experienced are the installers? So you can have a quick look around the edges on this and see the difference, and then we'll move into the fender. As you can see now, we've moved on to the fender, and previously on the hood, talking about a white clad car, you want to wrap as many edges as you can. So with here, obviously you got into the door, down by the rocker, this additional fender piece right here. So you got a line here into the fender well, into the front bumper, around the headlight, and then into the engine bay. So what we like to do is extend all the edges, and we try and wrap every edge where we can. If we can't wrap an edge, for instance, into the bumper, we tuck the film in there as close as we can and then do a final trim. So once this fender is complete, we'll have all the edges where possible to wrap, and then these other edges will be tucked in there. So we're trying to eliminate any edges that could collect dirt and have exposed paint. So now we've completed the Toyota GR86. Just to recap of what we did a complete full front end protection, full hood, full fenders, headlights, mirrors, and the front bumper. We also included the rocker panels. We removed the wheels, coated those with a Modesta BCO6, and then we put BCO4 on the entire body and on the film. The film is the Suntek Ultra 10-year warranty film. So the whole car is complete. And again, this is our standards. We didn't do anything special on this car. We always wrap the edges. We try and wrap every single edge where possible to give the best looking install and near invisible. So if you was to look over this car, you'd have to really look to see where the edges are and if it was even wrapped. So again, this is how we approach every install that comes into the shop, regardless what vehicle it is. So this is the high standards we set ourselves, and this is why customers keep coming back.